Okay, hello and welcome to take 2 of the 8th episode of Damage Control Podcasting, a professionally unprofessional look at the conventions, ideas, and genres of filmmaking. I am here with today I am here with
Josh.
Just Josh, like Prince.
Yep.
Daniel Newkirk.
and Mike is gone, so it's just us 3. And yes, I have forgot to turn the mic on for the first time. Okay, so so let's hit the news today. The new Justice League trailer.
Watched it this morning. Looks badass.
I didn't get to see it. No. Dang it.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Can we talk about it, or do you...
Oh, please do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, like awesome sequences with Steppenwolf and Wonder Woman.
Before we move on, it's everyone was worried about Steppenwolf is now Darkseid's nephew rather than Darkseid's uncle. That doesn't really matter to me. I don't think.
I don't see a point in the family relation. Like it's never been a major plot point. I don't think. Like not an important one.
Anyway, I interrupted. Go ahead.
No, it's good. No, it was a sweet Steppenwolf versus Wonder Woman fight sequence, and like there's a sequence where everyone's protecting the Batmobile. So I think we've got a McGruffin and the Batmobile doing something.
Do you think the one very obvious humorous line in the trailer is that a Josh Whedon add-on? You think?
Oh, with Flash about the bat signal?
Yeah.
That sounds like something that Josh Whedon would put in. But
You don't even know what we're talking about.
I'm so lost, but I'm so excited.
It's gonna rock your world, Josh.
Yeah, it looked pretty sweet. Like, I don't know. Like the second trailer got me the most excited for it. But this one still makes it look decent.
The Come Together.
Yeah, the Come Together one. That was a great soundtrack for that. I'm disappointed they showed Superman though, in this one.
But they didn't. Josh,
Right.
they didn't. Don't listen to him. They didn't show Superman.
Yeah, but I kind of wanted it to be like a mystery if Henry Cavill was even going to be in the film.
But he's
Yeah.
been cited on set. Plus, there was that whole mustache gate incident.
Oh, that's fair. That's true.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyone else? No. Okay. Gore Verbinski to direct Channing Tatum and Gambit. Do we even care anymore? It's been on off.
Ugh.
Gore Verbinski's last 2 pirate films haven't been all that good.
No, but I mean, if you can get some similar writing for some of those for like going towards Gambit, you might be able to get it to do right. But I mean, Gambit actually needs to do something because it's been in development hell since the Wolverine origin movie.
Well, since you said that, rumor is Channing Tatum is picking up the mantle that Hugh left. Gambit's now going to be the thread line between the whole new series of X-Men films. So instead of Wolverine in every film, it's going to be Gambit in every film. That's the rumor.
I don't want to see that much Channing Tatum. Like, I'm not going to lie. That sounds less exciting.
Well, if you want to see a lot of Channing Tatum, just watch
watch-
Magic
yeah,
Mike.
right,
I mean,
right.
That's,
There's a reason I haven't seen that movie either. I just don't want to see that much
I
Channing
haven't
Tatum.
seen XL.
Yeah.
I've seen the first one.
I haven't seen either of them, but yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, Gambit was a long line of replacement characters for Nightcrawler to start with in the comic books, so using him as a replacement character for another super popular character in the movie verse seems an appropriate nod to his comic history.
All right. The reboot of Spawn. Filming starts in February. Same thing with Gambit. Do we care? Does anyone... Spawn still... Besides hardcore comic book fans, does anyone even care anymore about Spawn?
Spawn is one of the longest running uninterrupted independent comics. I mean, it's...
Didn't Hellblazer run long? Hasn't... What, until... Because the original Hellblazer ran even past New 52, but they ended up cutting it off and then moving him to New 52, but...
Yeah, when he moved from Vertigo to DC, they stopped considering him an independent comic. So he doesn't really count anymore. But Spawn still is super popular. It's in the 280s in that ballpark, and that's huge for an independent comic to go that long.
280s. Oh, you mean... Okay.
Issue 280.
Gotcha. I'm with you.
But I don't know, like, I freaking loved the first Spawn movie. Like, I understand it wasn't a great movie, but I would watch that any day and be happy to do so.
some of the CGI is really rough.
Even for then.
Even
Yeah.
for then, like Malbolgia was really hard to look at. Hell was really hard to look at.
That's fair.
Violator was cool once he morphed, but during the morphing process from the clown to the Violator was really rough. And it's on Netflix. I rewatched it. It has not improved. It's still really rough. Okay.
That's fair.
All right. I wrote this for Mike, but he's not here. Rick and Morty dressed up as Pennywise and Georgie for Halloween.
It's Rick and Morty. I don't care about Rick
Yeah,
and Morty.
sorry, Mike.
So there's an audience for Rick and Morty. I am not it.
I don't have Cartoon Network. TV pilot for Tremors begins shooting this month, which starring Kevin Bacon. I like Tremors, dude. I was excited.
Meh.
Has
I'm
anyone,
just like,
has anyone seen the ongoing series? It's like up to 5 now.
I haven't.
Like season 5?
No.
Oh,
Oh, the
episode
actual-
5 or season movie 5. Okay.
yeah.
No, I haven't seen any of the Tremors movies.
And the only continuous character is the dude from that Michael J. Fox show, Growing Pains. He was Reba McEntire's husband in the original. He's been in all the films.
Okay. You'd think that a sandworm would have eaten him by now.
No,
If there
Gravazoid.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Gravazoids?
You looked at me like I made that up. That's what they're called.
I did.
You gotta Google it to make sure.
Well, I'm looking up the actor's name.
Oh, okay.
Because Encyclopedia Mike's not here.
Oh, okay. All right, while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about today's birthdays. Matt Damon celebrates birthday today.
Yay, Matt Damon.
Sigourney Weaver. Some people like him, some people don't. Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
He's got some good movies.
I think she's gorgeous. She can't really act. Kristana Loken.
Mhm. I'll agree with all that you
Okay.
said so
All
far.
right.
Yeah.
And I want to see if anyone knows who. I bet everyone knows who this is, but doesn't know his name. Peter Green.
Michael Gross is the name of that actor.
Yes.
Peter Green.
Do not. Hey, no.
Put it away.
Nah.
I was right there.
Oh man.
I had no idea who Peter Green is.
He is the bad guy from Mask.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
one of those actors you always see, but you never learn his name.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Okay, so moving on. Okay, I'm going to tell you two a little story, and this is going to give a clue as to our night's topic.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Got my teddy bear. I'm ready.
Okay. The first word actually is okay.
The teddy bear might be cider.
No. Technically a bear, but no.
Okay, so I'm heading to I'm heading to my local major conglomerate box store to pick up a few items. First item, right inside the door, I grab an American flag, throw it in the shopping cart. I start heading to the aisle for the item that I came for, but I have to pass the food section first. I see corn on the cob and a kebab skewer. I say, what the hell, throw them in the cart. I think to myself, I'm going to need a microwave with these two items. Check that off the list. I'm almost...
You need a microwave for your American flag?
No, these corn on the cob and kebab skewer.
Who what heathen uses a microwave
Hey.
for corn on the cob?
Hey, dude.
I'm an Iowa boy. You do not microwave corn on the cob.
Are you from Illinois?
Yeah.
We're Illinoisans. We
Yeah,
use that.
No,
you-
we still don't microwave. That's not how that works at all.
Just
Let us know in the comments if you microwave corn on the cob.
it's all part of the story, guys.
All right.
It'll all gel at the
It
end.
all comes
Okay,
together.
so we're gonna microwave the metal corn on the cob skewers.
Yes. Okay.
That'll work out well.
They're wooden, by the way. Okay, so check that off the list.
Wood? Jesus, have you never had corn on the cob?
No, kebab skewer.
For corn on the cob?
No.
Oh.
For kebab.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna have kebabs and corn on the cob?
Yeah. Corn on
Okay.
the cob's got no nutrition, man. That's why when you use the restroom, you see corn in the toilet. It goes in and
It's-
out.
I don't expect it that much. I
Okay.
don't pay that much attention.
Where am I at here?
You just picked up a microwave. I
So,
remember that.
all right. So,
microwave. Okay.
so in my shopping cart, American flag, corn on the cob, kebab skewer. I think to myself, I'm going to need oh yeah, I read that. All right, so, American flag. Corn on the cob. Kebab skewer. Microwave. I'm almost to the reason I came, but out of the corner of my eye, I see an umbrella. I think, well, all right then. In the cart it goes. Finally,
The world's worst impulse shopper.
finally, I arrive. I stare at the item that I came for. The only reason I showed up, a lawnmower. Okay. I patiently wait in line, swipe my credit card, then load my bountiful purchases in my unmarked cargo van. I drive off to commit murders. What type of film do I exist in? Those were all clues.
Okay. Well, the lawnmower makes me think Lawnmower Man.
Nope. That was too easy. I don't give it that easy.
Oh, that's
I'm
fair.
so-
Well, I listened to the trivia episode, so I thought it might be that easy.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Okay, so American flag, microwave.
American flag, microwave, corn on the cob, kebab skewer, umbrella, lawnmower.
Are we looking for a specific genre?
Specific genre. It's actually a subgenre of a specific genre. I'll give you 2 more seconds.
I feel like it's like a slasher movie. maybe.
Yes, slasher. I exist in a slasher film. The Lawnmower, Dead Alive, 1992. The Umbrella, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2, 1987. He actually shoves the umbrella through the guy, opens it up on the other end, closes it, pulls it back out, and then uses it because it starts raining. Kebab Skewer, Happy Birthday to Me, 1981. Corn on the Cob, Sleepwalkers, 1992. An American Flag, The Hills Have Eyes, 2006. Possibly other movies, but that's the only one I can remember. In the Microwave, Gremlins and Last House on the Left remake. Technically, Gremlins isn't a slasher, so I had to come up with something else. The Last on the House remake, 2009.
Okay.
All right. So So tonight's topic is the slasher flick. It's October. It's Halloween. Last week I couldn't read my calendar very well, so it's Halloween. So a definition of a slasher flick. Slasher films are a subgenre of horror films typically involving a violent psychopath stalking and murdering several people, usually with bladed tools.
Yeah, that's where the name
Hence
comes
the
from.
slashing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me do a quick overview of the genre. Then you guys interrupt, throw in your opinions whenever you want.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay,
We've been doing this for a while.
This is going to be like a 2-hour overview, so...
Okay.
All right, here we go. A quick evolution of flicks that became the genre slasher. George Archibald's 13 Women, 1932, tells the story of a college sorority whose former members are set against one another by a vengeful peer.
What was that movie again?
13 Women?
Who made it?
As they die, the culprit crosses out their yearbook photo, a device used in subsequent slasher films, such as Prom Night and Graduation Day. We all here? Josh, you with me?
I'm here.
Also used in Crow Wicked Prayer.
That's not a slasher, though, is it? That's a comic book movie.
Well, yeah, comic book movie, but it's a vigilante movie.
Yeah.
It's like a vigilante slasher version. Like, it's vigilante hunting down criminals and slashing them. I mean, they're really interconnected genres.
Okay.
It's just one's a criminal and one's a hero.
Okay. Robert
Who's technically a criminal?
Who's technically, yeah.
Robert Seidelmark's The Spiral Staircase, 1946, stars Ethel Barrymore as a woman who fears that her mute mate is a killer's next victim. This film contained conventions later commonplace in slashers, such as the helpless but sympathetic heroine. Hang on, guys. Hang on, my computer fucked up. The helpless but sympathetic heroine, black glove killers, point of view shots, and jump scares. Okay, that leads us to the Golden Age, the first cycle, which kicks off with Halloween 1978 and When a Stranger Calls 1979.
No, wait a minute. Doesn't Hitchcock's Psycho have like a huge part in generating the slasher film?
Yeah, did I not put that in there?
You didn't say,
Yeah, I didn't hear
say
anything about
that. You
Psycho.
talk about two movies I've never heard of
Oh,
before,
hang
but
on.
not Psycho.
Hang on, it's in my papers. Hang on.
Technology.
Yes. Also an early, also an early influence. 1960s Peeping Tom, directed by Michael Powell, and 1960s Psycho, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Also, man, I left out a lot. I'm sorry, guys. Also, 1974 is Black Christmas, and 74 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I'd say Black Christmas was pretty revolutionary too. Like, didn't that movie get banned for a while because of like it had a lot of violence against women issues?
I think all slasher films have, which is funny because all they say slasher films are very misogynistic, but if you look at almost 98% of them, who's the only person to survive at the end?
Oh, it's always a woman.
It's always a woman. And who is taking down the bad guy at the end?
Always the woman.
Always the woman. Now this may be the male in me.
It's
but-
not Tuesday.
Only Tuesdays.
This may be the male in me, but I never thought of the blade going into the skin as the phallic. Like that was one of the reasons why slashers were getting such a bad rep, because that was supposed to be, like a sexual innuendo, but I saw it as someone getting stabbed, not.
Yeah,
It was supposed to be a rape of the flesh, but that was what some of the psychologists was, which we're getting there. Hang on.
yeah, I mean, Freud has a point, but sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
And a flower is just a flower.
Yeah, and I mean, really, a machete's just a machete sometimes.
Josh? Sometimes you're just Josh.
All right, you can't hear it, but Josh
I'm nodding.
is shaking nodding his head.
Vigorously.
All right. So, the Golden Age was the first cycle. Started with Halloween '78, When a Stranger Calls in '79, and then the huge explosion. I wrote it. I typed it in all caps and bold letters. The 1980s. You got Friday the 13th, 1980. My Bloody Valentine in '81. The Burning in '81. The Prowler in '81. Silent Night, Deadly Night in '84. And my favorite film of all time, Nightmare on Elm Street '84. Okay.
Right on.
Questions, comments, concerns?
No, like I think that's pretty.
That's
good.
all factual information.
That's all.
Yes,
factual,
yes, I would agree.
As far as you know.
I lied. All these years are wrong, and I made up half these titles.
I don't know
Swear.
what Nightmare on Elm Street being. Like, I guess your favorite, fine, but I don't know if it's the best of the bunch. Like,
The original Nightmare on Elm Street? Hell yeah, it is.
it's good, but I'm a Friday the 13th boy. Like, give me Jason. Jason's badass.
First of all,
Freddy.
you just exposed yourself because Jason isn't the killer in Friday the 13th.
Not the first one. That's his mom in the first one.
Oh.
I'm sorry, when you talk about a franchise that has 13, 14 movies and he's the killer in all but one?
No, that's untrue. The third movie was an escaped serial killer who originally dons a hockey mask and is pretending to be Jason. Then at the end, Jason comes in and takes the hockey mask, because Jason in the second one was wearing a burlap sack for a mask.
Right.
And in the third one, you get the iconic hockey goalie mask, but it wasn't Jason. It was an escaped serial killer pretending to be Jason.
You are 100% correct. I remember that because that is that was the 3D one.
Yeah.
And-
We finally hit a genre, people, that I know a lot about.
Hell yeah. We're gonna actually hear Adam talk.
Yes.
Aw.
Okay, so here comes then what happens, guys? 1985 happens. The slasher suffered a decline in popularity in '85, but lived on through the home video revolution. The slasher film was pretty much condemned to straight-to-video productions. Studios releasing movies filmed priorly but previously unreleased for various reasons. Too Scared to Scream was filmed in '82 but released in '85. The Mutilator filmed in '82, then released in '85. And Mountaintop Motel Massacre. God, it's like Stan Lee gave that name. Mountaintop Motel Massacre, filmed in '83 and released in '86. And you are a nerd if you get that joke.
Oh, I get it.
Okay, thank you.
Boy, do I get it.
With home movie cameras more accessible came films like The Ripper '85, The Spine '86, Truth or Dare '86, The Killer Workout '87, Death Spy '89. Filmed actually on video.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Questions, comments. I remember seeing. You're talking about Friday 13th 3. Do you remember? You weren't here. Were you in Quincy? Were you born in Quincy?
No.
In Quincy, you guys know where Hy-Vee is at, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one?
Either one. It don't matter.
Okay.
Okay. It both applies to this. They used to have, before they remodeled, their store used to be really old and decayed and stuff, and you'd walk in the door. Okay, so if you're going on the one on Broadway, you'd walk in the door and you go directly to your left. That's the right. You're directly to your right. Sorry.
Moves his right hand.
Makes
To
an
the
L
left.
with the thumb.
That's right. What's there now? The floral. I think the floral department's there now. Anyway, they used to have these rows of just like pegboards, and on them would be like these little. I just saw one over
The
here.
little rental, the card things.
Yeah, it
the
was like
little
a plastic
things where you
sleeve.
could rent movies.
Yeah, it was like a plastic sleeve, and they had like a.
They had them up at the customer service desk.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah, and where I'm home, we had a store called Easter's that had the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. So I can say this now because DCFS can't get anything on my mom, but my mom used to just leave me there, and she'd go do her shopping, and I would just like. Wandered, but anyway, I remember distinctly the 3D one because it was like a transparent curtain, and then Jason behind it, and the knife jutting out to the.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. So I've got a friend of mine who was big into slasher movies and horror movies, and he.
Are you talking about me?
No, a different friend.
Oh.
He said friend.
Oh, you son of a- got me.
He was big into that, and he was selling some of his movies, and I picked up a handful of the Friday the 13th movies. Nothing good, but fun ones. Jason X, Jason Goes to Hell, stuff like that. And I don't remember why, but I
saw Jason X in theaters. Best $10 I ever spent in my life. Man,
Jason X is hilariously bad.
but it was worth it, man. It was good.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm glad I have a copy.
Yeah.
But I don't remember where I was. I think I was buying a vacuum cleaner or something. I was in Big Lots, and I walk by and I see Friday the 13th 3 and 5 in their dollar bin section. I'm like, oh hell yeah!
This is VHS, right?
No DVDs.
When was this?
Less than a year ago. 6 months.
Okay. All right. I was thinking nostalgia. Sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
no. This is 6 months ago.
Okay.
So like then I buy both of those and I watch the 3D movie again, and oh my god, it's so bad. Like with the scene where she's like laying on the ground and then the knife falls towards the camera, like that's just such a weird and bad version of the 3D.
Well, 3D technology isn't what it because the way they had to film it was they actually had two cameras slaved together, and then one would film straight on, and the other had a mirrored lens in front of it, so it would actually film the other direction. So when you composited the two images together, it gave the 3D look. So it didn't. So when you looked at it on the big screen, when you watch it on like a big screen or a drive-in screen, it would still appear 3D, but it was still crap 3D. But when you watch it on your TVs, it's not good.
Okay.
And that's why James Cameron took so long to work on the 3D technology for the original Avatar, because the 3D technology, unless you were Disney World and you had the massive where you could set up the shot, it wasn't practical to make it 3D unless you're doing the here's a bunch of water coming right at you type stuff.
Okay. Which I've been through a couple of those. Those were pretty fun.
The Muppets show in Disney World is really cool. The 3D one.
I was in Vegas and going through Madame Crusoe's wax museum, and they had a
They have 3D show on
they had a Marvel one.
there? Yeah.
So like you get in there in the seat, and they've got like Iron Man and Thor and all of them, and they're fighting Ultron, and they did some really cool stuff. Like Iron Man goes flying through a water tank, and they splash you with water. And then, like, an Ultron drone was grabbing at Hawkeye's legs or something like that, and they had little things that, like, come out and slap the back of your legs. Like, you
Oh, so
re-swiped
you're
at.
talking,
Like,
you're
that was
talking
pretty
like
sweet.
what do they call it? Like the 4D experience?
Yeah, it was a 4D experience.
Yeah,
It was,
yeah.
I think, what they advertised it as.
I kind of want to see. 'Cause that wasn't the movie, right? That was just
It was, like, 45 minutes.
because they actually have 4D theaters. I think there's one in Texas, one in New York, and one in Chicago. Just surely there's one on the West Coast, but like you can see, I think Fast and Furious was there. They would actually rumble the seats. You'd smell burnt rubber and stuff.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
That's
That
kinda
would
cool.
be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, do they sell those video things? Can you pick? I've always wanted to buy those.
By what?
Oh, those little video rental things.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I
somewhere.
was a big video rental rat, man.
I remember going. We had the place called Mr. Movies, and I was there pretty much every weekend in the summer,
Yeah.
either renting movies or games or whatever. My sister once racked up like an $80 late fee because she rented like 4 movies and then put them behind the couch and just left them there for an entire summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always used to go to like, I think it was Family Video or whatever, but they had some kind of crazy deals, and then I would forget and then not take them back for like 2 months or whatever. Then I'd take it back, and then I'd go in the next time to rent something. They'd be like, "Oh, well, you owe this much," and I'd be like, "Oh, I don't have any extra money. I'll pay a little bit on it." And they're like, "Okay," so they let you pay a little bit on your late fee and then rent again, which was a terrible business practice because you're never getting your money recouped that way.
But do you guys remember the smell, man? That always had a.
That plastic smell?
Yeah, it was nice.
That you can just literally smell plastic anytime?
Yeah, I mean, just open a shower curtain, you're good.
No, guys, no. I'm talking the actual hive, man. I'm going in and being on the place.
We don't sniff plastic. I mean...
I'll tell you what, dude. I'm
Or do you
serious.
smoke it? Is that what you do for your plastic high?
I neither confirm nor deny, but I do outside this podcast. Is none of your damn business. Anyway, okay, I remember. Okay, so anyway, talking about the home movie camera movies. I remember going to the video rental place, and I rented a movie. I believe it was called Blood Lake. It had the hockey mask killer that was so big, but it was the actual helmet mask.
Mm.
You know, with the back part on it. I think Are You Alone in the Dark? I think that movie originally had. But anyway, it was one of those, and it was shot by like people like us back in the '80s. It was not good, but it made me want to make movies. So, and that's why I'm podcasting today.
Hey, right on. If you enjoy Damage Control, thank Blood Lake
Blood
at your
Lake.
local Hy-Vee.
Yeah, and plastic. Okay.
Yes, thank Plastic for the podcast.
I think plastic's something we should think for a lot of things.
The decline in the environment for one. Okay, so here comes this.
I need to bring it down and get all serious.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Okay, the Silver Age, the second. Oh, I'm sorry. Does anyone else got anything on the decline? Before I move on to the Silver Age. By the way, this isn't what they're called. I just kind of threw them in.
No. I mean, I think those are legit names because they kind of line up with like comic book names or whatever. But I always remember watching a video on the what are they called? The cannibal movies.
Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, those style of movies and their decline, and it felt like they kind of got hit by the same thing that slasher movies did, or maybe like right around the time the slasher movies really dropped out is when the cannibal movies were getting a ton of bad press.
Wait, are you
and I
talking
think
about because the original Cannibal Holocaust? It came out in like the late '60s, early '70s, and slashers didn't really hit big until the 80s.
Maybe they inspired the.
You talking about like the torture porn movement?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh my! Like the Sauls, the Hostels, Captive.
Yeah, those are more modern versions of that same kind of.
It's like a subgenre of a subgenre, the torture porn. I am not big on torture porn because I like Saw. I like the first Saw.
Yes.
I thought it was
The first
good.
one was pretty good.
I
Yeah, it was
do
really
enjoy
good.
the Saw franchise.
But I don't really care for watching a close up of a girl getting her Achilles tendon cut, or it could be a guy. I just don't. That's not creative. I mean, I like, and this it's kind of hypocritical because slasher films are known for their all crazy
Gratuitous violence rather than
right, but
yeah.
it's not. But it's not. It's not the whole plot of the movie. Like the whole Hostel. People loved Hostel. And I'm like,
I hated
hated
that.
it.
I hate
I didn't
it.
think
Yeah.
it was good at all.
Yeah.
Hated Hostel.
No, I hate Eli Roth. Anyway,
I don't know the guy.
oh, I know him.
Oh yeah,
He knows.
you guys hang out and like barbecue on
Yeah.
Fridays and stuff.
You know your problem is Eli. Piss off. Anyway, yeah.
Well, there goes the
And-
Eli Roth sponsor.
And that's why he's making tons of money making movies, and I sit at home witching. I made movies.
Well, we got to make a movie now.
Oh, well, I'm writing a script.
All right.
I told you about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, look out for your Damage Control movie soon,
You-
straight to DVD.
Sponsored by Plastic.
God, I'd be so happy if it went straight to DVD. Are you kidding? Okay. So after the decline in the 80s, they kind of pretty much disappeared. There was a few here and there in the late 80s, early 90s, nothing big. And then the savior himself, in my opinion, the savior of the slasher films, Wes Craven came.
Craven, yeah.
Thank you. Wes Craven came out with 94's New Nightmare, 96 Scream. That led to the second explosion. Okay.
No, what about the Hellraiser movies though?
I think it's like,
I mean,
yeah, Pinhead, yeah,
like,
but
I put them in that kind of like they kind of flirt with that slasher genre, but I kind of put them in that.
but they're really pervy. They're really pervy flirters, man. They're not good flirters. They're Josh flirters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I
Get-
guess that's fair. I've been zinging you the whole time.
Get on Tinder and just send really, or no, excuse, Grinder and send really.
Oh man.
Okay,
Oh.
I'm getting off that road. I'll get myself
For a
off
guy
that.
who doesn't know how to use technology, your references for Tinder and Grindr and knowing, wait, I got that wrong, and then
It's amazing.
re-steering the ship, that was pretty
And
good.
how do
I'm
I
kind
know
of
what
impressed.
Grinder is?
Because you remember?
What I do off this podcast.
Yes, this from the man who didn't know the mic wasn't running on the first take.
You know what? What they don't know ain't gonna hurt.
Well, they know now.
Yeah.
And not to mention the 10 minutes of trying to figure out why the mic wasn't working because
Yeah,
the phone was not
Yeah.
set to use the mic.
Hey, Daniel, we don't need to say that. Anyway,
Lay off the plastic, buddy.
so, okay. So with that came 97's I Know What You Did Last Summer. I saw that in theater. Urban Legend 98, saw that in theater.
Oh, that one was rough.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, I know what you did last summer. Scream,
First
New
of all-
Nightmare. I'm on behind all those. Urban Legend was so bad.
First of all, I had the hugest, and I know I'm not the only one, hugest love crush on Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh well, yeah. I mean
obviously.
that's
Yeah.
that's a given.
And that scene where Kevin Williamson had the camera up, looking down, and she's got that low cut tank top on, spinning around, going, "Where are you?" I fucking love that scene, man. I do. Anyway, so but Robert
Yeah,
Englund,
we know what Adam thinks about when he's alone now.
Oh yes, the very bubular
Yeah.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
yeah, I once had. She doesn't listen to this, so she ain't gonna care. My ex-wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. When we were in high school, I had an I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, okay, and it was very photoshopped around her assets, okay. It was
All right.
clearly they were using that to sell the poster. I had that poster on there. She hated that poster so much. When we got married, we moved in, we got married. I was not allowed to take that in the house. I had to either store it or get rid of it because I would ever have a chance with her. But she don't listen, so she ain't gonna care. Anyway, Valentine in 2001, I liked it. David Boreanaz. I had a huge crush on David Boreanaz too.
That's fair.
Yeah, that
I
was
mean,
like Angel.
He's a good-looking man.
I don't. Yeah, he is. I don't like him in Bones though.
It's all right in Bones. But yeah, Angel and Buffy.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want to talk about guilty pleasures. Buffy the Vampire
No,
Slayer
you
from
had your
last
chance.
week.
You had your chance. Okay, so this also marked the return of the sequel. We get Halloween H2O 98. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer 98. Urban Legends Final Cut 2000. Now, if you want to talk, I really had high hopes for Urban Legends Final Cut. That was really hard. Even at that age when I literally loved everything, I was still like I had to find excuses to like that movie.
Yeah, but they had one good scene in it. Obviously, the movie's fine.
I had at least two.
Yeah, the scene where he grabs the
From a guy-
right before he
from a-
goes into the courtroom.
In
Oh,
Urban
sorry,
Legends
that's
Final Cut?
sorry, that's the wrong movie. That was Batman vs Superman. The one good scene.
I was gonna say, for a guy who loves Zack Snyder this much, I would assume you would just love everything, no matter what.
I bought you fuckers pizza.
I didn't eat your pizza.
We're-
Take that.
And at the 35-minute mark is when Adam committed the murder on camera.
Okay, so 2002 we see Halloween Resurrection, a horrible, god awful movie. So to survive the slasher film, to survive the next couple of years, this is horribly written. I apologize. To survive the next couple of years, the slasher had to morph and reboot. So they focused on certain cultures or lifestyle, whatever the proper PC word is. So they hit the LGBT crowd. Is that right? LGBT. Did I leave anyone out?
It's a Q at the end. LGBTQ.
What's the Q?
Queer.
Okay. And they're that redundant? Like, I'm not being stupid. Isn't that redundant?
But it is.
You
not.
are, but
No, but like, right?
No, because that qualifies the gender queer crowd, which is the gender fluidity crowd.
Oh, okay, I'm with you. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, so the LGBTQ crowd. 2002's Make-A-Wish, which was a lesbian-centered slasher. 2004's Hellbent, which I own, is a gay slasher. Also, in 1999, there was a gay porn version of Scream called Moan.
Interesting. All right.
I have not seen it.
you own that one too. Is that what you were saying?
Don't worry about it.
That's right next to the "I Still Know What You Did Last Summer" poster.
Also, whatever the black crowd, the African American crowd, we hit 2002 Killjoy in all of its sequels, which I've seen. I've seen the first one. The first one that was like just at the beginning of when they started doing squibs, CGI. You know, like they have what they call assets now, where you just kind of pop them in.
Yeah.
And it was just at the beginning of that, and it's fucking horrible. Horrible. It's like video game. It's like you're watching a movie, and all of a sudden, video game effects start hitting you, and these guys are like,
Oh, jeez.
horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
2002's Killjoy. I haven't seen it, but I love the title. 2003 Holla If I Kill You, which
Holla if I kill you.
which I'm assuming this is a sequel. 2006 Holla. I'm assuming it's a sequel.
All right.
And 2007's Somebody Help Me. So, and then with that also hit the massive remakes with companies like Platinum Dunes, Michael Bay's Platinum Dunes. We get 2003's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 2005's House of Wax, 2006 Black Christmas, which was panned, but I really liked it. I've seen the original. I've seen the first. They're two different monsters, but people always want like. It don't matter. You remake anything, everyone's gonna be pissed about something.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the Black Christmas, but I remember the remake for House of Wax was pretty decent.
Plus,
for what it was, I enjoyed
Plus,
it.
you see Paris Hilton getting it right in the.
So that was a pantomime to the forehead for.
Yeah, perfect for podcasting.
Pantomime this headshot.
No. What happened was, she had no pants on. I don't remember why. It's Paris.
Well, we've all seen that.
It's
so
Paris Hilton,
it's
so
normal.
I don't think she needed a reason. She's running, and there was a rusty pipe, right? And she's running, and she trips and falls head first into the pipe.
And it just goes straight
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
That reminds me of what I think is the most gruesome scene in all the Final Destination movies. There's one of them where they're going, like they wreck a car, and the car crashes into like this farm or something.
Go ahead. Sorry.
He just reached over and took my pen. They walked over, and sorry, the car hit like a bay of hail or something like that, and the driver's fine. So, and everyone gets out, and they're doing the Final Destination plot point, whatever, and the firefighters come to go rescue the driver who is stuck in the car. Thank you. And she's a total bitch through the entire movie, and the firefighters using the jaws of life to try and bust her free. And they set off the airbag, and they shoot her, like the airbag hits her, and she kicks her head back into a piece of metal that was sticking through the back of the
Yeah.
the headrest.
That's when my buddy Jonathan Cherry, like I fucking know him, Jonathan Cherry, he was in that movie. He was the one. It's the same scene. It may have been before or after that sequence. The barbed wire fence, the barbed wire goes flying.
Yeah.
Right out. Jonathan Cherry, he was in the horrible Uwe Boll film, House of the Dead, off of that video game.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh geez, that movie was rough.
Did you see the scene where like the chick? There's going to be a theme about this, but did you see the scene in that movie where the heroine's running out of the explosion house and she like falls forward and it's just.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, okay.
There's a
Alright.
definitely cleavage moment, which
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the pantomime there.
I always do it for you because you know how to do it very adultish, and I'll just be like a little pervert. So I just let you say it. So
Boobies.
follow 2006 Black Christmas came, 2007's Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween, which I love. No, okay.
I haven't seen it. I've never been a big Halloween fan. Like Mike Myers has always been kind of a boring kind of murderer to me, so I haven't seen it.
Oh, fair
But I did see the remake of Friday the 13th that had,
dude,
I think it's Jared Padalecki in it.
Supernatural.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from Supernatural.
I met the guy. I met the guy that played Jason. I met Kane Hodder, and I met the guy that played Jason in the remake.
Nice.
Okay? I bought. I was just. I was at like a flea market. I am not a Friday the 13th fan. I watch them, but there was like a little stuffed toy, like a little rag doll of Jason, and his machete was broken. But I bought it, and I went to a film convention in Baltimore. Okay. He was the remake. God, what is his name? The remake guy was there, and Kane Hodder was there. They did not get along because Kane Hodder was supposed to be Jason in the remake, and he like hates this guy because he thinks he's the reason why Kane Hodder didn't get the part.
Oh, okay.
So they were fighting. So I go up to Kane Hodder, and it's kind of embarrassing because I went to stunt camp, right? Like I'm a professionally trained stuntman. Kane Hodder's a stuntman. I wasn't trying to get a job or anything. I was like, hey man, you're really cool because you're a stuntman. I've been trained as a stuntman. Like knowing I wasn't like trying to get a job or whatever. I got the way he was talking to me. I kind of got the feeling like he thought I was trying to get a job out of him.
Right.
Which I'm sure he's probably heard. But I was just like, man, I really respect what you do is what I was trying to say because while I haven't done it, I've only been trained at it and it's fucking hard. So anyway, so he signs one leg, and I go over to the remake guy who's on the other side of the convention hall, okay, which I thought was weird at the time. So I go there, and I go to have him sign it, and he goes, oh, fuck, it's good you had him sign it first because he wouldn't have signed this if he saw my name on here before you signed it because he hates me. And he told me the whole story of it.
Oh, jeez.
So anyway, so I felt really embarrassed because I looked at my ex-wife at the time, and I was like, man, fuck, I feel like an idiot for telling this to Kane Hodder. Because I felt like he thought I was trying to like sleaze my way into something, and I was just trying to pay respects to him. So anyway,
Yeah, guy kind of sounds like an ass, to be honest.
Yeah.
My Bloody Valentine 2009. I was still on remake. Sorry, I kept going off.
Yeah.
2010's A Nightmare on Elm Street. The movie was shit, but I loved Jackie Earle Haley's portrayal of Freddy, because Robert Englund, while Robert Englund's portrayal is the king, the essential Freddy Krueger, and nothing will ever beat it. Jackie Earle Haley was like a mad dog in that movie. Like you go into the nightmare, and Freddy and Robert's Freddy would kind of like screw with you a little bit, have a little joke, whatever. The second you close your eyes, Jackie was just right on top of you like a fucking mad dog, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, he was brutal. Like they took all of the humor out of Freddy in that movie.
Yeah.
Took me a minute to realize I had seen it, because that's like they start and like that's the movie that confirms that Freddy was a child molester.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad you bring that up because I want to bring that up. A lot of people I remember when that movie came out. A lot of people on the internet were bitching about why would they go so dark and make him a child molester? I'm like, haven't you fucking seen any of the other movies?
Yeah, because they've always like alluded to it and kind of skirted around the idea, but they never. I don't think they ever came out and actually confirmed it until the remake.
No, the TV show, the original pilot, the Freddy's Nightmares, the TV show, directed by Tobe Hooper. They confirmed it in that episode because
Oh, okay.
Freddy wasn't really in that show, except for the pilot and like the 2 episodes after that. Then it was just like a Twilight Zone type show. So, but that show is like Freddy's Nightmares is star-studded, man. It's got Brad Pitt, it's got Mariska Hargitay in it, it's got her partner from Sex Crimes, Chris Maloney. I mean, it's got every actor you name it. Name an actor. He's in it. Anyway,
Josh is just
so
My first inclination was to say Kevin Bacon, and he probably is. Like, he's in everything.
I think he might be.
he's at least five steps divorced from it.
5 what?
5 steps.
Okay.
Okay, here. You don't have to answer now. Do 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon in as few steps as possible. Alfred Hitchcock, Lindsay Lohan.
Oh god, I am terrible with.
As few steps as possible. You don't have to answer now, but I'll continue.
Can I research?
Nope.
Well, that's difficult then.
So during the age of the remakes, we get sporadic releases of original ideas. We get the Master. Sporadic was right, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the
Okay,
right word.
I thought you was laughing at it.
No, that's
No,
English.
that's my thinking face.
Oh, we get
You
Wes.
don't see it very often.
We
No,
get
that's true.
We get Wes Craven's 2010 My Soul to Take, which I liked. 2000.
Oh, is that the one where like it's a gypsy curse?
No, that's
And-
Drag Me to Hell.
Oh god, that movie was terrible.
Yes, it was. No, this one, that was Sam Raimi. That was like
Okay.
that was like his big return to horror.
Oh, it was so
that
bad.
pissed off so many people because he was like, "Yeah, I'm doing another Evil Dead." And everyone got really excited. He's like, "Oh, middle finger, I'm doing it in a whole different movie." No, that was the one with the California Condor.
Condor, the Wes Craven one.
Yeah. My soul. Anyway, 2015's Unfriended, 2016's Friend Request, and this year's 2017's Happy Death Day.
I actually want to see Happy Death Day.
That one actually looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah, like kind of like a horror version of Groundhog Day. Like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of into that, and like just I kind of wish the trailers didn't show so much of the movie because I feel like a lot of the movie got showed in the trailer. But
It looks like another reason to mine the depth of Final Destination, though. Let's see how many cool, creative, violent ways we can kill this chick.
that's fair. I kind of.
By the way, this is the most I'll ever talk in a podcast because slashers are like the only genre that I just know a shit ton about.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
That's fair.
They're like, thank God.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But yeah, so anyway, I wish they had showed a little bit less for a Happy Death Day in the trailers because I feel like they showed a lot of things in it that would have been really cool surprises. Like they showed the trailer where she walks out nude into the campus. Like that would have been a cool surprise. Or like in the
Yeah, you pervert.
well, yeah, she's hot. Then they show like the cop getting annihilated by the car, and they ruin one of the escape sequences, which could have been really good. Like
Well,
they show her.
There could be a twist.
There could be a twist, but I think it would have been better if you had because in the trailer they use it as an escape sequence twist in the trailer. Like I got out, everything's fine, and they're gonna show you the ending of the movie in the trailer, so it's not a twist is coming, and yeah, just I wish they hadn't shown that.
You know what, Daniel? At 46, you're so jaded. Okay, so now I'm gonna leave this question up to you guys. Vera Dyka, I hope I pronounced your name right. Author of Games of Terror, Halloween, Friday the 13th, and films of the Stalker cycle have a specific formula. Any guess on what the specific, in her opinion, any guess what the specific formula is?
Well, I think it's going to be what we see in Cabin in the Woods, that you get the four.
She does not mention Cabin in the Woods.
Right. Well, Cabin in the Woods is supposed to be a satire on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see the formula, they talk about the formula in Cabin in the Woods, where you have like the super promiscuous woman, the jock, the one smart virgin, and then the drug addict, and you see them slowly get killed off after doing a series of really, really stupid things in an isolated place, and it's all for just because they're stupid, really. I mean, if anyone in a slasher movie was smart, none of the slasher movie would have happened. So I believe that's kind of where you're going to get that formula coming from. Would be my guess.
Josh?
That's basically the formula for most of them, right? Group of young people, typically, doing stupid stuff and getting murdered, except for the one who decides, I'm not going to do all the stupid stuff. That's basically the formula.
Yeah.
Well, according to Vera Dyka, it starts with a past event in which the film's community commits a wrongful action or which causes the killer to experience severe trauma. The plot involves opposing objectives. Let me start again. The plot involves opposing objectives of the killer and a hero/heroine. Typically, the film begins with a commemoration or anniversary of the past events that reactivates or re-inspires the killer. Often. The victim survives, but is damaged in some way by his/her experience. The genre's appeal is rooted in the audience's feelings of catharsis, recreation, and displacement, which, according to her, is a sexual experience. Why does the slasher genre have this sexual sleaze to it?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Because I'll be honest with you, growing up as a kid, because that's what you do, I watched a lot of those just to see boobs.
I mean, and that's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. There's a lot of accidental nudity in Friday the 13th. You know, I don't know the origin of it, but she makes a good point. I mean, to me, I've talked about this. A horror movie is kind of a sexual experience for me. I like.
Is that why your pants are off right now?
Oh, absolutely. It's fine.
I already told you
There's
no.
camera.
We're not. I'm not your teddy bear. That's not how this works.
Shh.
Oh God, no.
It's fine. It's fine.
You know, but this is what's weird. This was weird. When I was young, teenager, or whatever, I would wait. For A, the killing and to see the killer, and B, to see the girl in her underwear or naked. Now it's like, why are we celebrating the killer, and why your friend just died? Why are you taking a shower right now? Get the hell out of this house. Stop. Put your clothes back on and get out of the house. Like, I literally yell at the TV and I'm thinking, I'm seeing a naked woman and I want her to put her clothes on. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, I mean, because I think our goals in the movies have matured. Like, I mean, I don't watch a horror movie.
Well,
to
no
see...
one's ever said Adam and maturity in the same sentence. So,
well, I mean, when we're 16, we're kind of starved for that kind of thing, and that's all you can think about. So, like, sure, when you start seeing those kind of things, you kind of tone out all the rest of it. But I mean, we're grown men. You know, we've had those experiences, and okay, Josh and I have had those experiences, and you know, it's a little less exciting now. I mean, yeah, she's naked. I've seen one in person. It's awesome. Now we want to see a fulfilling experience in other ways. We want to see interesting plot lines. That's why we watch these movies now. If I want to see boobs, I'll go talk to my girlfriend for a little bit longer. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, we don't have that kind of starved experience anymore.
I know. I've actually been on Netflix and I'll watch a slasher, and if like the girl starts walking around in her underwear, I'm like, nope. If it's not motivated, if it's motivated, fair enough. But if it's like you just witnessed your buddy getting killed, the killer just walked around a corner. Why all of a sudden are you taking your pants off? Click. Like I don't.
Yeah, I think it depends on the slasher movie, but there's a lot of things that's just gratuitous for gratuitousy. But some of it...
Okay, if the movie is selling itself as sleaze, like it's just like, yeah, we're just sleaze, I'm like, alright, cool, I'm in for it. But if it's trying to be like a genuine scary, like a genuine horror film, and all of a sudden it's just like, shit, it's been 45 minutes since we had any boobs, let's throw it in there, I'm like, no.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on how it goes for, but to me, nudity and horror kind of go hand in hand together, because there's
boobs and butt together. No? Okay.
Well, that too, you know,
okay.
Whatever you're into.
All right.
But I think the nudity and horror go together because of when a character is nude, they're at the 100% most vulnerable part of life.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah, you are never more vulnerable than when you are walking around naked. So I feel like they use that nudity to portray that vulnerability, that helplessness. I'm actually running a horror-based Dungeons and Dragons game right now.
Where you all play naked.
All the time. Me, 6 women, I'm in.
Sorry, go ahead.
I've been here on Wednesdays. It's not 6 women. These are all lies.
But no, in a horror setting D&D game, and I've used that in a few places for like non-player characters and some of the villains recently, where they are naked to portray that vulnerability and that kind of aspect for the atmosphere.
You said that. Okay, so I was trying a couple years ago, 5 years ago now. I was trying to get a movie up and going. It was set back in like the height of the Pinkerton days, before they became the Secret Service. Okay, it followed 2 Pinkertons, 2 Pinkies. They get a letter talking about having to go out in the woods, wintertime, go out west to find this man. Okay, so they take it, and as they take it, they take the job. They're going out and they're on horseback and they're following the trail to find this man. And then off in the distance, there's a figure just sitting in the snow, right? Just sitting down in the middle of the trail. And as they approach it, it's a naked man. and every person that read the script was like, we like the movie, but because I had people want to play that, but they're like, why do I have to be naked? Like, why if you made it a naked woman? Like, for one thing, you make it a naked woman, it's instantly sexual. It's instantly like pornographic. And they're like, well, she doesn't have to be naked. She could be like in her underwear or whatever. And second of all, that kind of makes it even sleazier. If it, somehow, I don't know how, the way men think. Like, she's completely naked. It's pornographic. You put her in like short shorts, booty shorts, and a halter top. Somehow it becomes sleazier than her being naked. But if you make it a naked man, I mean, come on, guys. We see a naked dude, maybe besides me. It's really uncomfortable. It would like be perfect for that, because naked men, unless that's your preference in life, really makes heterosexual men kind of uncomfortable, and that'd be perfect for a horror film. Like I think that would be like less. I can't believe I'm saying this. Less blonde. We should see less of the big boobed blonde women in underwear, naked running around. Let's see more naked dudes in horrors, to make it, because it gives the it makes it more because it makes us uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I
that's
think,
kind of the whole point of the horror film, right? Is to kind of take you out of your comfort zone. Because if you're comfortable the whole time, you're not going to be scared or whatever.
And
so
yeah.
if you're something like that, I agree with. 100%.
And let's be honest. I don't care how well built you are. I don't care how well endowed you are. The naked man, the male figure is not good looking naked. It's just, I don't care if you're Brad Pitt, which I've seen a hack cell phone pic. He's pretty fucking good. But you know what I'm saying? Like, the male figure isn't good. It's just uncomfortable. It's just uncomfortable to look at. We don't look good naked, man.
maybe you don't.
Well, all right.
No, I would agree with you. I would get behind that.
Yeah, I bet you would.
Oh man.
The concept of the we need to see less sexualized women in all cinema. I think
Yeah,
not just
agreed.
not just the horror movies. But with the concept of the naked man in the horror movie, I think, yeah, it would make you uncomfortable in a certain aspect to a point, depending on the rest of the rest of the thing about the guy who's naked in the snow. I think it depends on the atmosphere you build and who that character is to build that uncomfortable factor.
Right.
I think you could just as easily build that to be a vulnerability rather than uncomfortable. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things you can do with that, and I think it kind of displays the kind of a sexist movement in movies in general. I mean, you get a woman topless, and it's no big deal. But it starts becoming a big deal if you want to show a man naked. I mean, we see a lot of great popular movies with full frontal women scenes, or full behind movie scenes, and they get maybe an R. But you show a man full frontal, and you're past R.
No, that's not true. Judd Apatow, he help me out. What movie was it? Knocked Up, where they showed was it flaccid mean soft?
Yeah.
They showed a flaccid male member in a PG-13 movie because he tried hard. Because I think it's Knocked Up. I could be wrong. I'm not big on comedies.
I've seen Knocked Up. I don't remember that.
May not
And
be-
Knocked Up I don't think it was PG-13.
Well, it was a Knocked Up. Maybe it was a rated R. But the thing was, because he was complaining that you could see you can see Kate Winslet's boobs and other parts in Titanic, a PG-13 film. You can see, I think you can see a full frontal woman in a non-sexual manner, completely naked in a PG-13. But you put her on top of someone or etc. It's R, okay. But here's the weird thing. You can say the F word one time in a rated R film, as long as it's not used.
But PG-13.
And a
PG-13. You're right. Sorry. Thank you. You can say the F. I said it the whole. You can say fuck one time.
We've said it the entire podcast. It's
you can say that word one time in a PG-13 film, as long as you're not using it to describe the act. So you can say, like, you can stub your toe and say fuck, but you can't say I want to you.
Right.
Okay. But you put a lit cigarette in your actor's mouth, instantly rated R. He doesn't even have to be smoking it. But you can smoke weed in the movie and be PG-13. But if it's a cigarette, a tobacco cigarette, instantly rated R. If it's lit in the hand, it's rated R.
I didn't realize that.
It's
I
kinda
didn't realize
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, I've seen this a few times. I was watching a documentary on the rating system for films because
It's
my-
bullshit because it's
Yeah.
it's the MPAA. There's no rule book. Like, okay, here we go. Here's the rule book. It's whatever that person's opinion is. So if you get like a really bigot, just snarly man or woman who's just like thumping his or her rules out, you're gonna get like shit on.
Yeah, like the rating system is completely arbitrary. There's no rules. It's garbage, and they have a rotating set of judges, critics, I guess, whatever you want to call them. And there's there's no basis for when they rotate. They try and grab a good demographic of the United States. They say they do anyway. And in this documentary, what is it? Is it 20 people? Is it 12? Something like that are on the
It's
board?
not a large number.
Yeah,
It's a relatively small number. But I want to say that they were half men, half women, but like 9/10 of them were white. And they weren't accurately representing the demographic of the United States.
I agree.
And they're completely private people, so you can't even look at who it is. The documentary had every face blurred for the ones that they stalked.
Because they don't want people killing them. They don't want directors going and taking an upper decker in their bathroom.
So sometimes they deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I suppose is fair, but
Yeah.
or like I saw a part of a documentary on again on the rating system, and they were showing the Fast and the Furious movie, and the very first one where I think it's Vin Diesel is hanging off the truck and his arms wrapped in barbed wire or wire of some kind, and he's bleeding, and they said there was too much blood in the movie, and they gave him a rated R. So they took that scene and they trimmed it by 2.5 seconds, and that was enough removal of the blood to get them a
yeah.
PG-13 rating.
Well, some directors, like I said before, I listen to a lot of audio commentaries. Some directors, knowingly, they go in their back of their head knowing that, like, say they want to get, like, there's a slasher film in the 80s called Just Before Dawn. The final girl, it's about a bunch of backwood Appalachian hillbillies killing these campers, okay? The final climax of the movie is the hillbilly picks her up, and to kill him, he's screaming out like King Kong screaming, like, "Oh, I want to kill you." She takes her fist and, as he's screaming, rams it down his throat and holds her fist in his throat as he chokes to death. Okay.
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 It's pretty sweet.
Right, and that's how he died. And literally, he goes on the ground and she has to like step on his chest to pull her fist out. Okay.
Jesus, all right.
But knowing that probably wasn't going to get across, he like filmed extra crap that he had no intention of using, put it in there, and the guys in the MPA is like, "You need to cut this." He's like, "Yeah, all right." So he cut it knowingly. He didn't even want it in the fucking movie, and then that way he pulled it out, put that in with what he wanted. They're like, "Oh yeah, okay, you worked with us, fine." And he's just like, "Idiots." So, and I've heard
Yeah.
I think Rob Zombie has done that too. A lot of directors, which I don't know why they're admitting it to it publicly, because it sounds like they're screwing themselves over by admitting to it. But
I don't know. I mean, the board moves so quickly. I could see where, like, if they're talking about it. I mean, and honestly, like, we're not going to change the rating system by not talking about the flaws in the rating system.
Right.
You know, if these directors are going to come forward and be like, "Hey, the rating system is bullshit. This is why, and here's the things we have to do to make the movie that we want to make," then, you know, I think they need to talk about that. I think we need to have some form of reform.
you know, a movie ruined the rating system for people like me that like watching violent movies.
What's that?
Jurassic Park.
Really?
Look how much money we can make on a PG-13 movie. Fuck rated R movies.
That's true. I mean, if a horror movie is rated PG-13, I am very unlikely to see it. There are very few PG-13 movies where I'm like, all right, I'll go see that in a horror film.
Also, being the old man that I am, I've realized now as a teenager going, there was always that one creepy dude in the theater by himself. So you're with your group of friends, you know, you're young friends, you know. There's that one creepy dude by himself, just fucking watching this movie. I have now become that creepy dude in the horror film by myself, sitting in the theater, complaining. I'm like, get off your fucking cell phones. You know, I'm that dude. Okay, so anyway,
I got something like that.
Okay.
So I went and saw it, and I tend to movie go alone. So I movie go alone, and it's a full theater, and I'm sitting in front of a couple guys, and like the guys behind them are making noise during the movie, and all I want to do is throw whatever candy I was eating at them, and I'm like, oh fuck these guys are annoying as shit, and then like a movie hits, a scene hits, and it's the scene where it crawls out of the projector.
oh, that's awesome.
That was an awesome
That was
scene.
taken from another Stephen King book.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So and the guys behind me start laughing, and one of them has this kind of odd laugh, and I recognize the laugh, and two, I'm like, are you serious? Like, come on! And I look back because I think it was the guys behind them,
And
and
was not me.
it's two of my really good friends sitting back there, and I'm like, oh, that's okay. And it was a different Josh. It was not this Josh. It was a different Josh.
You're lucky. Saved by a different last name.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it was like I was getting so mad at the guys behind them that were making noise, and then he laughed, and I'm gonna punch someone because I'm trying to watch this scary movie. Damn it!
Yeah,
And
it's kind of a weird thing because if you turn around and yell, you just start a whole different fight.
yeah.
So you just kind of have to like sit there and just like, fuck, come on. Who goes and pays $20 to see a movie on the cell phone?
Yeah.
God damn it!
I'm a big fan of the turnaround, obviously, and silent stare. I'm a big fan of that. 'Cause
Oh,
that
that
gets a lot of people to shut up.
drives me nuts. Okay, anyway,
I've always
okay.
been a fan of the turnaround and hey, fuck off.
Yeah.
I always like that one too. That's pretty good.
I was always a fan of turn around, act tough, and then they hit me. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm
sorry.
Trudge.
We're gonna watch Crossroads now. Don't hit me again.
So,
Oh man, that movie.
so this reminds me of something that happened at the Steampunk Festival, actually.
Okay.
So if you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to that episode. It's amazing. But I went to the Steampunk Festival.
Which
and
Mike wasn't there, so that means this episode's gonna be amazing.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm at the Burlesque, which is one of the big steampunk festival things, and it's a burlesque show.
Yeah, you pervert.
Oh, it was fantastic. Anyway, so I'm sitting and watching the burlesque show, and they've got a bar, and they're serving alcohol, and pretty much like the burlesque show is like artistic nudity ish, because they don't show anything, but damn near.
Right.
And then you get like a bunch of dirty jokes and some adult content, and then more artistic stripping and stuff and like that. So we get through like the first artistic stripping, and people are hooping and hollering and having a good time, which is awesome. And then we get to like the adult jokes and humors and stuff. And apparently, no one's interested in anything but female nudity at the burlesque show.
Well, yeah.
So everyone is pissed drunk and chatting during this show. So this lady who was doing like a guitar thing, like we've been yelling at the people, hey, shut up. I've got a really drunk girl who I'm like, hey, shut up. I'm trying to watch the show. And she's like, are you mad at me? Yes, I'm trying to watch the damn show. And she shouts through the microphone, stops the music, shouts, hey, everyone, shut the fuck up. People bought tickets to see this show. And then there was probably 2 minutes of the rest of us cheering and clapping for this woman for telling the entire crowd to shut up and doing everything that we all wanted to do but wouldn't.
And then it goes quiet, and you hear Daniel, take off your top. I was joking.
Oh no, there was plenty of that. I didn't need to shout anything.
Okay, we gotta move on. This is like the most derailed episode we've ever had.
Yeah, we're a little bit all over the place.
Except for maybe the trivia one. We got derailed quite a bit already.
Oh man, I don't know. Do we ever stay on the rails? I mean,
No.
yeah.
Let's just change the name to Derailed.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. Okay, so some of the common tropes of slasher films. You got the final girl. Almost always a final girl.
Soul Survivor.
The sole survivor.
Yeah. Virgin, super smart. Does dumb stuff though.
Does dumb stuff. run upstairs for some reason.
Always.
Why?
All of a sudden, her
Always
legs.
upstairs.
All of a sudden, her legs become rubber, and she trips and falls. Can't get the keys into the ignition. Can't open the door. Trips and falls some more. Can't put the car into gear.
Car never starts.
Never starts.
Never
All of a
starts.
sudden, the cell phone she's been using for the whole entire fucking movie can't get reception, even though she's made 5 phone calls from that one location 10 minutes earlier.
Yes, tropes.
The other common trope, the anti-heroic characterization of the film's villain, basically, which man, I have a love-hate relationship with it because, I mean, the Nightmare on Elm Street films basically are, let's root for Freddy. I mean, no one cared. Maybe the first film everyone rooted for Nancy, but no one cared about anything else other than how's Freddy going to kill this chick or this dude.
Well, I think the thing with that is when you get a franchise that's so established like that, your reoccurring character is your villain. So he's the character that gets the most characterization, the most character development, and he's your connection to the movie.
Right.
So, like, if they did a Nightmare on Elm Street and every movie was a different villain, maybe you'd root for the heroes more often than you would the villain. But every he's Freddy.
Right, you'd have to change the entire storyline to...
Yeah, you would. I mean, you'd have to use a different...
Or you used him more like the shark, rather than... Which he was kind of in the first one. Even more in the second one. He was hardly in the second one.
Yeah, I mean, once you start, like, making a character that you... Like, you go to see the movie for Freddy now. Because he's the poster child, he's the character that's been developed the most and evolved the most, so you get that connection to him.
I think that happened to Jigsaw, too. Like, Saw, like we said earlier, Saw 1 was really good, and then it became what's the twist? How is Jigsaw going to off these people? Like, screw the story. What's the twist? How's Jigsaw going to kill these people? That's it.
The one Saw movie I hated the most, and I liked most of them. The one I hated was the one that had the impossible puzzles, because it was his protege setting up the puzzles instead of him.
4?
I think it, yeah.
No, 3, because it had the chick from Becker in it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so, like, the girl was setting up the puzzles. Spoiler: the girl was setting up the puzzles, not Jigsaw, and
Right,
he
like,
was protegeing her.
The doctor with the iron lung, or the what's it called, the Viking death. There was no way to answer it because she actually reached in the acid to get the key, but it didn't unlock the lock. It's still.
Yeah.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, all of the puzzles, like, she gave the solutions and then didn't actually, like, the solutions didn't work for anyone who actually
Yeah,
tried.
because that was the point of Jigsaw. Was like, if you survived, it's like, all right, man, you've earned it.
Exactly.
But this chick's like, I'm killing you no matter what. Okay. Let's see, finally, an hour and 12 in. Let's get to the point of the podcast.
Oh,
What
wow.
are some of the positive negatives of this genre? Negative, I know I've talked about it a lot. The over sexualization of the woman.
Definitely, yeah.
Like I said, no one goes into a slasher film expecting. I mean, there are, and it can be done, but no one goes in to see a pretentious Schindler's List type film when you see a slasher film. And I'm not against naked women, but at 33, I need the nudity to be motivated.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just nudity for nudity's sake is bad.
It turns me off. It's like, put your damn shirt on, man. Come on.
Now there is talking about nudity. I'm a big video gamer. I know, Adam, you're not really. There's basically an animated movie.
Pac-Man, right? That's still popular, Pac-Man?
Ish, yeah.
Pong? I'll go ahead, sorry.
There's an interactive movie called Heavy Rain. And Heavy Rain is a fantastic work of art. If you have a PlayStation, you need to play it. But in the sequencing, there's
I have a PS4. Does it work on PS4?
maybe.
Okay.
When there's a scene where the woman, it's a horror scene. She's naked in bed, naked. She's in her underwear or whatever, and people start busting through the doors and trying to murder her. And you're playing through and you're trying to save her life through quick time events or whatever. But the whole thing, again, it's the feeling of vulnerability. And then when she dies, she wakes up and it's all a nightmare. And they do that, and I feel like that is an appropriate use of nudity, and we could do things like that in horror genres, and in dream sequences, which is always a cop out. But those kind of things can really set a mood.
What's that called? Heavy Rain?
Heavy Rain.
Yeah, another thing I noticed a lot in horror slasher films is they try to make it motivated, where you get the fake scare, like you get the girl, she may be covered in blood, not her blood, like it's her friend's blood. She tried to save her friend. She's been to the cops. She's back home, so you see her strip and get in the shower, and then you see the fake scare, and then the actual scare is when she gets out of the shower and puts her clothes. There's no reason for her to see if, like, okay, you want to show the audience that she washed the blood off. Just have her go into the bathroom.
Well,
God, I sound like such an old man.
The thing with that though is, in this genre, you have to build the tension, right?
Yeah,
so
but-
every time,
but
like, she doesn't necessarily have to be in the shower for that to happen.
Don't you point
I'm
at
not
her.
disagreeing with you. I'll slap your mouth. So the point is, like, you have to build the tension up and keep rationing that tension up.
I agree.
And so,
I-
but to your
all
point,
right.
I agree. Like, you have to have those fake scare type scenes, but does she have to be in the shower to do it?
Yeah, like
You know what I mean?
They
Like,
call
why do we have to have her take her clothes off to do that?
Yeah, they call them cat scenes because it used to be they'd always back in the early days you'd always have the crew off screen with a black cat and they just throw it on. So they call them cat scenes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, why can you build the tension up some other way? Like, I don't know. I clearly I'm not creative. That's why I don't make movies. But do something other than a steamy shower room. The killer, for some reason, instead of getting her in the most vulnerable spot and stabbing her, he opens the door and the stairs, shuts the door again, and goes and hides. What the fuck's the point? I mean, I know, tension-wise, but realistically, the killer would nail her in that shower.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
killer, right?
Kill her.
Just making
in the
sure.
shower.
Depends on the movie, I suppose.
Yeah.
I am of the opinion that like if you're gonna, like, again, I've talked about this a lot. Nudity is vulnerability, and if you're going to do a shower nudity scene, the fake vulnerability is really off-putting, because you're vulnerable, you're building up tension, and then haha, nothing happens. That's such a letdown. Like if we're gonna do a slasher film and we're gonna put a shower scene in, slasher comes in and psychos her right in the shower.
You know what movie did that best? Actually, now I think about it.
Psycho.
No. Jason Goes to Hell. Jason
Yeah.
Goes to Hell. You have the girl, the big-breasted girl. She wasn't blonde this time. She brunette. She gets in. She does all the typical stuff. She takes a shower, and you're like, why are we watching this? She opens a medicine cabinet, closes it, nothing. But she does that. It turns out that she's part of this killer squad trying to kill Jason, like paramilitary group.
Yeah.
So she does. So you get to the end, like she puts the I mean, this is always sexy. She puts the man shirt on, the button down, no pants. Oh, sexy. She puts that on.
But women, if you're listening, that's the best lingerie you can buy.
Oh
Just
my
a
God, yeah.
Oversized button-down shirt.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway, so she puts the flannel on, and she goes through all the sleep, and you're like, why did we just watch this? And then because that's the point of the Friday the 13th movie. She's attracting Jason because that kind of stuff draws the spirit of Jason to that.
Right.
Like that had a purpose to it, rather than just whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, his morality tale was always promiscuity. So that's the Jason Friday the 13th, legend is, which honestly I think that was just an excuse to fit more nudity into the films, but it worked. And you're right. That had a good purpose within the lore and legend of Jason, and it was a good scene.
You ever seen going off topic? You ever seen Freddy vs. Jason?
Yes,
When
in theaters even.
Yeah, I did too, 3 times. So they go into Jason's nightmare, and the chick's going through there, and you see Jason drowning, and she starts running up to the camp counselor, and the two are like making out, kind of dry humping, and the girl's like, "Come on, let's go save him, and the counselors are just dry humping, and the girl's like, "Are you coming?" And then the counselor turns into Freddy, and all of a sudden the girl's like dead, and he's like, "Oh, I'm trying, but this girl's lifeless," or whatever. That was funny. That was pretty good. No, I don't even know why I brought it up. Any positives to the genre?
I mean, they're fun. I mean, they're actually a relatively good way to relax, in my opinion.
Some of the more creative, I think it lends itself to really creative, outlandish writing, which, like you said, can be fun. They're kind of treated, the horror genre in general, but mainly slasher. They're kind of treated like bastard stepchildren because they always make money. And every director, like seriously, name a director they have filmed a horror movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, your traditional horror movie, the suspense horror movies, I enjoy them because I like horror in general. I like gothic horror. I like ghost spirits.
Like H.P. Lovecraft style.
I love Lovecraftian horror. I love horror movies in general. Vampires, werewolves, zombies. I can't get enough of it. For me, that is a personal like, and then. Like they're honestly they're great date movies. So like you like most people when you go see a horror movie, you're bringing your date with you.
What are you doing tonight?
Well,
Your girlfriend's out of town?
And I'm out of time.
Don't worry, Josh. I only have eyes for you.
Oh God.
You son of a bitch. Okay, so what is it, real quick, what is it, oh hell, we'll just go as long as we want. What is it, this is going to be the longest episode because this is a genre I know a lot about. What does it take to write one? So what kind of killer do we want? Now, despite Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street being Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite movie. Freddy is my favorite horror, even my favorite villain, even above Joker, he's my favorite villain. With that being said, I prefer more of a human killer rather than a supernatural killer. I mean, I love the creativity it takes to figure out how to take out the supernatural killer, but you always get that one Joe Explain It All character who's like, oh yeah, this is how you take it out because of some prophecy. Who the fuck wrote that prophecy? Like, so I prefer more of the human, the Scream, the original Mike Myers, not what he became later on down the line. That's the kind of killer even though I like Freddy, that's the kind of killer I prefer in my slashers.
I'm exactly the opposite. I very much do not prefer the human killers. And the reason for that is because there's so many scenes that don't make sense with a human killer. When you have a supernatural killer, they move faster. You can justify that. They're stronger than humans. You can justify the things that they do, like ripping people in half. You can justify the superhuman durability. You can justify them getting shot and not flinching.
Well, right.
When you start talking humans,
like if I saw old Ghostface pick up Neve Campbell and just literally rip her in half, that would be a little fucking weird. But there's just something about a human, another human bringing on violence to another. I mean, in an outlandish way. I'm not talking like actual realistic violence, but in an outlandish way. A human doing violence to another human is more compelling story-wise than, like, you see Freddy, you see the burnt face in the rain, you're like, oh, that dude's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, for me, like, you just take a look at like Michael Myers. Michael Myers, like, he got his ass whooped in a lot of those earlier Halloween movies.
And then he got beat up by Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, and he had no reason to survive some of those ass whoopings. And, like, he's the one that is always to me like, he's just human. You know, at least Jason has, like, vengeful spirit zombie body. Freddy's a dream demon.
But you talk about Mike Myers in the novelization to the first movie. Actually, he was possessed by an Irish demon. He was never just a kid.
Oh, that's fair.
But I don't think that ever came through, that was just in the novelization.
Okay. Well, you don't see that in the movies, and if they do a poor job of explaining that. But good on them for using Irish demons rather than. I mean, that's a nationality you don't see a whole lot of horror stuff from.
More like crime.
Except for the Leprechaun movies.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
What kind of killer you prefer?
I personally prefer a human killer more than
you're
a
out.
supernatural. Just because it makes it more scary, I guess, because like that's a person killing a person that can literally happen. Oh shit! So it ratchets up the realism a little bit, I think, which for me puts me more into it. But I can understand the appeal of the supernatural thing too. But I personally would just prefer to have a human.
No, I can't get into it.
Not two against one.
I know. You guys are done. We're making a human slasher. But the worst thing in life to me, in cinema, is when you have a horror movie and through the entire thing they're portraying the villain as a supernatural entity, a ghost, a haunting, and no, it's just old crazy man Jenkins from down the road killing people.
Crazy
We're not
man
Scooby doing
I
it.
cannot,
Like,
I cannot stand that.
Yeah,
or,
I agree with you.
or when the ghosts are the helpful things, and the entire time, oh, it's a warning because this crazy guy is gonna murder you. I cannot stand those horror movies.
So
Daniel does not like Scooby Doo.
did you not like? Did you not like Scream?
Scooby Doo. Scream was okay, but it wasn't everything I wanted it to be. I mean, they did a cool twist with there being two killers.
Yeah.
And that was a good twist to explain how he could be in so many places at once. Because that's a big flaw in the slasher genre. Like, okay, he was 50 yards that way, he killed someone, and now we're going to go sprinting while he slowly walks and suddenly he's in front of us. Like, that's such a huge flaw in that genre, such a bad trope. And like that Scream did that right to explain that flaw in those movies. So, like, I appreciate Scream for that purpose.
You know, I think either it's the original, it was part of the original script, or it's a fan theory. I don't remember, but the idea is that Dewey, from the first movie, is behind all of it. So there's actually 3 killers the whole time. In every movie, Dewey was behind the killing. Every movie.
That would explain how terrible of a police officer he is.
Yeah.
That would explain that.
Yeah.
So we're going with a human killer. Sorry, Daniel.
Sorry.
I finally win.
All right.
What's like an original setting? What about I don't know about video games or board games, but what about a slasher flick in a western town?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could probably pull something like that off. I mean,
Or like a Victorian era, but then we're kind of getting like Jack the Ripper, I guess. But
I kind of personally would want to see a slasher flick based in like ancient Rome.
that would be
Oh,
interesting.
fuck,
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be good.
Yeah,
That would
okay,
be a real good setting.
I take it all back. I like that ancient Rome idea.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like ancient Rome's cool.
Or
I-
Greece, either one.
Yeah, I want to go the other direction.
Future?
I want to go
Future.
future.
Yeah.
Because I want to put the slasher movie on its head. Like, you go to ancient Rome and you're doing still normal slasher stuff. I want to put it in the future, not Jason X, but still pretty futuristic, where you have all this super technology and you as a writer work around that super technology to create something new to the slasher genre.
But see, that's the problem. We don't today, 2017, making a slasher flick. We don't have a lot of futuristic technology. What's the one piece of technology that ruins all of slashers?
The cell phone.
Right, and the only 2 cop-outs we have is battery's dead. Oh shit, I can't seem to get a signal out here.
No. When I make a slasher movie, if I ever make a slasher movie, the first thing I want to show is chick on phone, machete, scimitar, whatever comes down, slices phone in half. You've answered the problem without going into one of the stupid 2 tropes that are easily solved. Broken phone cannot make a phone call, and how many people have a house phone now?
Yeah, my mom was the only person I knew that had a house phone. She got rid of it.
Yeah, like, I don't know anyone who owns a house phone at the moment. So, like,
Well, sorry, I was just thinking about the slasher movie in the future. If we did do that, you could kind of do it Alien style.
Explain.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
As like the original Alien movie, like
Right,
all those
right.
people are on the ship, right? And
I'm aware of it.
So there's this movie. No. So like something happens on the place they're exploring or whatever,
Right.
and one of the people is a little off now, but nobody notices.
It's
or
like
whatever.
Cabin Fever. So he gets
Kind-
not the movie, but he
But
gets
yeah,
cabin
kind of
fever.
like that.
Okay.
Like one of them goes through something while they're on the planet that nobody else seems to know about somehow, or he gets lost for a little while
You know what
and
that
they
movie's
find
called?
him.
That movie's called Sunshine.
I've never seen it
They
or heard of it even.
You heard, okay, so it's disguised. It's the movie is disguised as a realistic space movie. The sun is dying. They send out Icarus One, a spaceship. Mark Strong is the captain. Send it out, okay? All of a sudden it goes radio silence. It disappears. They can't find it. So Earth only has enough resources because the sun's dying, so they're going into like a dead winter all over the world. They've only got enough resources on the planet to build one more. Their thing is to build a man. They've on the front of the ship is a Manhattan-sized nuclear weapon. Okay, so they're going to fly that nuclear weapon into the sun
To reignite it.
Yeah. So they go, and the first half of the movie is like a 2001, a more exciting 2001 type movie.
Oh, thank God for that.
Yeah, they start getting the signal. This is where Alien starts coming. They start getting the signal. They find out that it's Icarus One, the original ship. So they're like, shit, we're running pretty low because they get hit. I forgot to tell you, they get hit by solar flares in their. So they're like, shit, we're low on fuel and oxygen. If we go to Icarus One, we can kind of get some of their oxygen scrubbers and all O2 scrubbers. We got another because we've only got one payload. 2 payloads is even better. So they go to Icarus One. They board the ship. They find out why it went missing. The captain went AWOL, kind of your cabin fever thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they get what they need from the original Icarus One. They go back on to Icarus Two. They find out there's someone on the ship now. The captain, Mark Strong, has survived 8 years on Icarus One by himself. And you know what happens when a man's by himself? He starts talking to a volleyball. And
I've seen it.
yeah. So anyway, he boards onto the thing. So the realistic sci-fi film that we've been watching all of a sudden turns into a slasher film.
Right on. Okay.
It's Sunshine.
Sounds pretty sweet.
Well, all right. Well, they made my movie then.
And even though I just ruined it for you, it's a really good movie.
Right on. There was one that I saw. I don't remember what the. This I'm going to butcher it because I can only remember like 3 things about it. But it was like a starship and like kind of like a Dead Space like feeling where you had like a mining ship or something and it was all shut down, and this girl is going through and exploring the ship while her captain's talking to her head and she's refiring everything, and the whole movie is a ton of fake scares. And then you get to about 3/4 through the end of the movie, and it turns out that the captain is the one that killed the entire crew while she was in cryo sleep.
No.
And
It's a dude. It's Ben Foster and Dennis Quaid. You're talking about Pandorum.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, Pandorum. Yeah. That's a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah,
Not enough to recognize the characters or know that it was a dude, but you know.
No, at first I thought you were talking about Supernova with James Spader. You know
Oh,
that
okay.
one?
Yeah, that was.
That was thin, ripped James Spader, not bloated, cocaine-induced James Spader. So we're going to futuristic slasher. Okay, what do we want our killer to look like? Are we just going to use? I mean, what has he got? Like, we'll throw something out here. We going like giant mnemonic Blade Runner style, like retro-looking clothes, or are we just going to go full tilt boogie, just futuristic-looking stuff?
I'd be fine with either, but how about this for the best of both worlds for our killer? Instead of a human killer, why not a robot killer?
iRobot?
Kind of
One
iRobot, where we've got like a
Blade Runner a little bit?
yeah, where we've got like an insane cyborg. Or
He's just really not into
robot,
the human
android.
killer.
Wait a minute. Dude, I missed the obvious one.
Hmm.
Terminator.
Yeah, Terminator.
Do we want to go Terminator, though?
I think you could do Terminator without being like Terminator. Yeah, it'd be hard to do futuristic slash without being Terminator.
Well, take out time travel.
Well, yeah, definitely take out the time travel.
Take out the ridiculous prophecy that doesn't make sense anymore. What if it's a robot that doesn't know it's a robot?
Oh, that'd be good. Then you get all those human scenes that you guys like to have, and then I can justify it getting shot in the chest without dying.
You're such a racist against humans. You're such a species. Okay, all right. So we're going future, right?
Yeah.
So we got future. Robot that doesn't know it's a robot.
Sure.
Cyborg, android. Nah, but see that goes into the Ridley Scott shit though.
That does.
With the androids and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's not gonna work.
Come
What about
on,
ancient?
Josh.
What about robot in ancient Rome? Time travel goes haywire,
So-
gets dropped in ancient Rome. That's our big twist. Is robot at the
That
end.
is just a bad like Godzilla movie or something.
Yeah.
It's just running around destroying the city. Like,
Yeah.
I'd probably watch that. Actually.
Oh God, what? See, my setting was. I was thinking like. Okay, ancient. I was thinking like an old, like a,
Like in the Wild West. or
like
whatever,
well,
yeah.
no, like
Well,
a slightly modern Western town. You know, they still have horses, but like the Model T's kind of coming in. The roads aren't paved yet.
so
but
like early 1900s.
yeah, yeah. And I was thinking like a bowler cap, you know, and then like I know Quentin Tarantino made fun of this, but I was thinking like the town that dreaded sundown type mat, just like a blanket or something, cloth pulled over his head real quick.
Yeah.
Um,
Snidely Whiplash mustache.
a what?
Snidely Whiplash mustache.
No. You know, maybe like a vengeful Native American spirit. That's something we haven't really. I mean, I know Skinwalkers came out, but like the Native American lore hasn't really been explored too much. And
No, that'd be alright. I worry about, like, getting too far in on that and possibly hitting, like, almost like a racist term where you start seeing, like, you know, tomahawks and scalping and, oh, is this a Native American killer?
well, as long as
Like-
well, what if the killer was using? What if the killer was an Asian male, but he was using
Asian? Are we...
Caucasian male? Is what I said. I think I did. But what if it was he was using that racism at the time to his advantage?
Now, that I could get behind. Now, like, that
Well,
would
then
be
he's
alright.
just a fucking Scooby-Doo villain at that point.
Who
trying-
asked
he's-
you, Josh?
It's like it's every Scooby-Doo episode ever. You've got the guy using the local whatever to try and scare people away
Ah,
from
fuck,
the
yeah, you're
the
right.
old amusement park. That way he can tear it down and turn it into a parking lot or whatever the fuck he's doing.
Josh, when
It's the
you're
same
right,
shit.
you're
It's
right.
like
That's a great plot, Josh. Let's use it.
God, okay, man, but I really do like that ancient Rome idea. though.
and then if we do that, then we can call the movie Thrill Ride because it's about the amusement park that he's trying to tear down and turn into a parking
You know
lot.
what, Josh? You had me, and you had to go too far. What about a steampunk slasher flick?
Alright.
So you
I
get
think you can talk into that.
Think Rocketeer, okay, but no rocket. I'm thinking just the helmet.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead.
here, yes. It's steampunk plus our Sunshine Aliens idea. We've got a murderer on a Zeppelin airship.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So you're isolated from people.
But
you've
are we
got-
thinking? But are we
The only
getting-
way to kill him is to set him on fire, but that makes the Zeppelin explode.
But see, that was Rocketeer though. That's like literally the end of Rocketeer.
No, the killer does like a Die Hard 1 yelling fall right off the Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yeah, like monkey flip right off over the railing.
How are we gonna sequelize it? I'm thinking sequel right off the bat, dude. I'm thinking franchise.
Oh, no.
I'm thinking action figures.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
yeah.
Pillowcases.
Here's pillowcases. All right. Here's how you franchise it: you don't make it about the killer. Like
You make it about the Zeppelin.
You make it about the Zeppelin.
Yeah.
So the first
What?
movie, first movie is about the airship and the killer on the airship. Second movie, airship. Maybe now it's got vampires on it.
No.
And then
you lost
airship,
me. You
and now
lost
there's
me.
werewolves.
I ain't into
It's
that
it's a
Twilight
cursed
bullshit.
it's a cursed airship, and the curse is not an entity cursing the airship. It is that bad luck follows this airship everywhere.
But see, but then when we get out, nah, I don't like it.
And then
I don't
movie
like it. Y'all
4 is
lost me.
Speed the airship, where
Okay,
the
I'm-
airship's crashing.
I'm back on board now. You lost me with the vampires and werewolves. Back on board for 4. Where are we going with 5?
Oh, 5's got to be 3D.
Yeah,
I
all right,
mean,
all right. Okay.
Then the 5 is the 3D version. It's Fast and the Furious airships.
yeah, oh yeah, airships drag racing.
That could be cool, I guess. Okay. So we're going. I do like the idea of the steampunk. Is there a
Okay, if we do the steampunk thing, the killer has to have like the steampunk get up or whatever, but they have to be kind of douchey and like their normal non-killer persona is someone who walks with a cane.
Oh yeah.
And then they have to like the way they kill people is they have like something that's comes out of that cane to stab people.
So we're thinking.
Oh yeah, like penguin umbrellas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking more of like the killer would look more like a cross between Rocketeer and what's his name, Cronin from the first Hellboy.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that too. Well, that's his killer motif.
Right.
Like
I see
he
what you're
switches
saying.
costumes. Like
I see
he's
what you're saying.
this
His
is what
alter
he
ego.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's his Batman when he's Bruce Wayne mode.
I've never heard
He's-
of those two guys. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
that's cool.
Okay. Okay.
Too
all
much
right.
plastic.
So what's the so the plot would be this using this because didn't the Sears what's the fuck
You just try to call it the Sears Tower?
no the Empire State Building. The reason it's got that little thing on the top is because that's where the Zeppelin was supposed to be parked, right?
I think so.
Okay, so I didn't make that up. I swear to God. Or
I-
is it the Sears Tower?
it might-
No, it's gotta be Empire State.
I thought it was just like a warning beacon so they could put the light up for airplanes not to hit it.
No, I thought it was the park because Zeppelins were like supposed to be the next big thing, right?
Well, until the Hindenburg, yeah.
Never heard of it. I don't understand the life. So what if
You're getting so good at that. I can't tell if you're serious or not.
I just always assume he doesn't know. It's a safe bet.
what if we did that? What if I lost where I was going. What if he caused the Hindenburg?
Oh, this is just like a serial
this is
murderer.
so-
like he has a hard on against Zeppelins.
Like what?
Well, what if this whole fight happens and something catches on fire or something, and that's how the Hindenburg happened? So we're telling our story as if it's a historical account of what actually happened on
that's
the
gonna be a
ship
real
itself.
quick movie because it's gotta be like 12 seconds long.
What do they call
Well,
it?
no, because you do the build up, and then in the
Yeah.
ensuing chaos of the fight with the big bad, the whole thing goes off. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, and then you see the we'll use public domain footage of the Hindenburg going down and everyone's screaming, and then we use because it's an artsy film. We see Finn, Fin, the end of the movie, and then it fades to black, right? And then all you hear is the crackling and the fire, and then we cut back to a wide shot of the Hindenburg on the ground. All we do is we see our dude walking out of the flames like a fucking badass, just walking out.
All right.
And he kind of shakes the flames off.
Yeah, but then you, I'm in. Don't get me wrong, I'm
Yeah,
in.
You're Finn.
I just don't know about the killer surviving. Like, I don't want that trope of the recurring killer.
Okay.
I want a cooler linking element for our franchise.
Zeppelins before Prohibition, right? Is that right?
Yeah, usually before or like during ish.
Okay,
Prohibition
so
era.
first movie, killer dies. He has a child. He's mid to late 20s, Prohibition time. Okay, finds his dad's costume or a prototype of his dad's costume because the original costume burnt up in Hindenburg. He's got life has kind of kicked him around a little bit. He was a bartender. All of a sudden, his bartending job's gone because of Prohibition. So he goes the opposite way, and he starts fucking killing the people in the speakeasies and the bootleggers with his dad's guy. So we flip it. The costume of the bad guy is now the good guy in the next movie.
All right, now that I can get behind, where we're swapping roles, where we got the murderer, and then we switch it to a vigilante.
Yeah.
So like Spider-Man 3, where he takes his dad's outfit.
Don't you ever reference that movie in this pocket. So he uses
You can reference bad movies all the time. You love Batman.
Don't
v
you go
Superman.
there.
I don't like Spider-Man.
Damn, I was trying to
I
cut
thought it
him
was
off.
terrible. I thought it was
So
terrible.
what he uses the fear built up from his dad and the image that his dad garnered in the first movie. He uses that in the second movie.
So long as we kill him, I'm in.
Why? He's a good guy
He's a
though.
good guy though.
So,
All right.
all right.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going on 2 hours, real quick.
Huh.
Best, in your opinion, best scene in a slasher flick.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Freddy vs. Jason. The very end sequence where Jason and Freddy are fighting, and Freddy is swiping and blowing the compressed air tanks at Jason, and Jason takes one right to the chest and just doesn't even flinch.
Yeah, and Freddy's like, what does he say? Torpedoes away? No, what does he say?
Yeah, it's like torpedoes away or something.
Man the torpedoes. And it's
Yeah.
so corny.
I know. I love that scene.
Yeah.
I love it.
My favorite one is actually from Scream, where the girl gets stuck in the cat
Garage
door,
door.
the garage door thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as a kid, growing up, when she walks into the garage,
Oh, jeez.
anyway, she was dating Marilyn Manson for a little bit.
So that
Rose
was
McGowan.
pantomiming of
I was
hands
trying,
over.
I was trying to be adult here.
I was trying to be adult. Look at me make erect nipples with my fingers. Wonka wonka.
Wonka wonka.
That's the only thing. I don't know. It was just a thing.
Anyway,
That's the sound that boobs make. Wonka wonka.
I've
Squeak toys.
I already mentioned my favorite one, the fist in the mouth. Also, I like a lot of them, but the fist in the mouth kill was cool. Freddy,
You seem like a fist in the mouth kind of guy.
I'm a fist guy, and Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Nightmare on Elm Street 3. He picks up. I can't think of the character's name. He becomes a TV. His head pops out of the TV. He goes, I think his name's Allison. It's time for your big break. Welcome to prime time, bitch. And shoves her head on the TV.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the TV's like 6 feet up in the air. They walk in, and they're like, oh, that girl committed suicide. How in the fuck? She just ran and jumped. Anyway. Best killer. I'm going, hands down, I don't care. Gun to head, gun to nuts, Freddy Krueger is what I'm going to say.
That's probably my favorite too,
Yeah.
honestly. Like even with all the cheese and stuff, like
Yeah.
it's still my favorite.
And I generally like both versions. I like or Robert Englund, and I like Rorschach as well.
Yeah, I mean,
James Haley.
yeah, I mean, Freddy Krueger's great, but I don't know what favorite. Like, I mean, I've already expressed how I'm a Jason fanboy, but I mean, he's kind of one note. Like, he's got like a one kind of beating note.
Speaking of
Hellraiser, man, like.
Speaking of what's Jason, those little not theme song, but that little.
The laugh, yeah.
What do you know what's actually being said?
I do not know. I did not realize.
What's actually being said is kill
kill. Yeah.
mom.
Huh, interesting.
He's
Okay.
begging his mom to kill.
All right. Huh. Neat.
Best killer. Oh, you would go. Okay. Give me.
You're so used to having a fourth person.
Yeah, I am. This is weird. Give me your best evil laugh. Because Freddy. That's your evil laugh.
No, that's terrible. That's fucking terrible. I abandoned it halfway through.
Okay.
Because you pointed at Josh.
One more try.
No. You.
Josh.
Josh.
All right, let's just camp it up then.
Really?
Camp. Yep.
I went
wow.
the other way. Yes. That's the way I'd
That's
go.
not even a laugh.
That's
You
not
just
a laugh.
hummed
That's
it.
not a laugh.
No, that's the way I'd go.
It's a terrible laugh.
Fuck you guys. All right, we're almost 2 hours in. 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon
I couldn't.
in the least amount of steps possible. Alfred Hitchcock, Lindsay Lohan.
I'm almost positive it uses Twilight Zone somewhere, but I don't know what it is. Really? Good. Go for it.
Wait. Okay, was Jamie Lee Curtis? How do we?
Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan were in Freaky Friday together.
You're on the right track.
Yeah.
You're on the right track.
And then Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh God, I don't watch any of her movies.
She did something in. She did. Well, she was in the original Halloween.
No,
right?
okay, you guys are cool.
I'm off now?
You're
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
All right, do
Alfred Hitchcock directed Psycho, starring Janet Leigh, Jamie Lee Curtis's mom, who starred
Oh, okay,
in
okay,
Freaky
Freaky
Friday
Friday,
with
yeah.
Lindsay Lohan.
I forgot it was her mom. Yeah.
it. Oh, okay, fair enough. I didn't know that counted.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought they. Well, I thought you had to. They had to be in a movie together for
Yeah.
that game.
Like,
Fuck! I played the game wrong.
yeah. I mean, isn't there is there a Janet Leigh, Jamie Lee movie you can use a bridge there?
No,
Probably, maybe.
they have not. As far as I know, they have not been in a movie together.
No, you're wrong.
All right, you're
Am
You
right.
are wrong,
Am I?
sir.
You got a computer right in front of you.
Okay, I do.
I don't know how to use this.
Okay. Recommendations, real quick, like we always do. Recommendations.
We've gone over a lot of movies tonight.
Yeah, we have.
Like,
Yeah, we have.
anything we've talked about in the past almost 2 hours. Watch
Right.
most of those. Some of them you can skip. We discussed which ones were pretty bad.
I want to recommend the documentary Never Sleep Again about the making of all the Freddy movies. Everything Freddy. Starting with Nightmare on Elm Street, starting with the birth of the idea all the way to Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
And then they mentioned the remake, but the remake hadn't come out yet. and it talks about the TV show. Even if you don't like the Nightmare on Elm Street series, if you just like documentaries, it is the most comprehensive documentary on a making of. I mean, they've got just. I don't think there's anything left out there.
What was it called? Never Sleep Again?
Never Sleep Again.
Okay.
It's about the making of the series. It's like 8 hours long.
Holy cow.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it goes in depth about every single movie.
Well, it'd have to be for that. Like.
Yeah. Also, I want to recommend Mario Bava's Twitch of the Death Nerve. It's one of the godfathers of the slasher flick. Mainly, I just watched it because I liked the title, Twitch of the Death Nerve, but it turned out to be a really good movie. I think you can. I think that was the original title. I think it was released in America as Bay of Blood.
Okay.
Not as cool, but what do you think, Daniel?
I am trying to find the name of the movie I'm recommending.
Who started? What's it about?
Okay, so it's about a news reporter, and she is doing a documentary on a slasher for a slasher movie.
Okay.
And they treat like all the slashers as if they were canon and people know about them. So she is documenting the slasher through it, and like it's behind the scenes things. Rather than following the main protagonist girl, you're following the slasher, and the slasher's going on about all the rules for slashing and how he does things.
Behind
and
the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
That's the one. Yes, that's the one to watch because it's got such an amazing twist to it, and it's tongue in cheek through half of it, and it turns into a legit, really good slasher movie.
That was supposed to be a franchise, but I don't think they did anything with it. Maybe one sequel, but I don't think they did anything with it.
I don't think they did anything with it. I didn't realize there was a sequel even for it.
I could be wrong. Stars Robert Englund, I believe. Not star, but I think he's in it.
Yeah, I
don't
think he
he's
gets a
starred.
cameo.
I recommend anything with Robert Englund. Okay. Any other
That's the one for me.
longest episode ever?
Yeah.
You want to promote your?
Yeah, absolutely. We are currently recording at Underdark Comics and Games in Quincy, Illinois. Check us out on Facebook at Facebook/Underdark Comics.
Oh fuck! The mic hasn't been on.
Oh.
I've been wanting to do that. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
You can also catch us at our website, underdarkquincy.com. Make sure you stop in and see us, and make sure you check out those web pages. We've got a great sale going on comic books right now till the end of the month, so stop in and get comic books for $1.
Also, I say this every week. Go to SoundCloud.com. Look up Damage Control Podcasting. Check out our previous episodes. Send questions, comments, idea. Please, someone. DamageControlPodcasting@gmail.com. I don't care. Whatever. Just send something. Has your mom and dad listened to the show yet?
I'll find out tomorrow.
Okay.
We will read whatever you send us on air, even if it's erotic fan fiction. We'll do it.
Preferably erotic fan fiction.
Yes, Adam, Josh, and I, in compromising positions, we'll read it.
Adam, I want Adam to read that. That'll be entertaining.
That
Actually.
will be really entertaining.
Okay. All right. Anything else real quick?
I think
I'm in.
we nailed it.
All right.
All right. Sliding.